Fallout Shelter is a mobile game. I don't usually review mobile games, but I'm just not able to play games at home as much as I would like to. This is a non-canon Fallout game with the art style of the Pip-Boy, and well, with most games that would have an art style like this, I would say it doesn't work for me. For Fallout, like a spin-off Fallout, it works due to the Pip-Boy having been a thing since the beginning. It's a free-to-play game, and while I always hate the free-to-play mobile gaming market, this one you honestly don't gotta spend money. And you really don't gotta watch ads if you don't want. It really is free to play. Sure, you can spend money on it, but you don't need to, and you actually progress at a rate that doesn't make it feel like you are being screwed for playing for free. Compared to many other free-to-play mobile games, I'd say its value is pretty good, and it's alright. But if you compare it to actual paid games, then yeah, it's pretty garbage. Like, in the free-to-play mobile market, it would be one of my top games. But in all the games in the world market, I would never choose to play this over any of the Fallouts. The main part of this game is building your Fallout shelter and getting more people in it, so it's a bit of a management game, except for the most part there isn't a lot to do but wait. You log in, you do whatever you have to do, which usually takes under 10 minutes, then you log back out for the day. It's not a game you can play for a long time, or you will quickly run out of things to do. It's more of a few minutes a day kind of game. And a lot of things work with real time. Like maybe if you want to train a person, that'll take 5 hours, or for a baby to grow to an adult, that'll take 3 hours, that kind of thing. It would almost be a calm and relaxing game if it wasn't for the various events that take place. Like sometimes your place will catch fire, and sometimes you get attacked and you have to defend your vault. And this happens a lot. It happens honestly too much. I'll always be in the middle of something, and now everything has to be put on hold for an event, and then I'll go back to it and another one will come, and again and again and again. It's so much. And when I got to where Deathclaws started coming in, it felt like I could never log in without at least one attack happening. It was getting stupid. Now, another way to recruit people is, of course, for your dwellers to make babies. It seems as long as a man and woman are living in an area together, they're gonna fuck. Charisma matters, but not a lot, as even low charisma seems to do it. However, my ghoul was a fucking machine. Non-stop, I swear. And some of his relationships were a little wild. Ma, June, and the ghoul together? I mean, I know I kind of put them together, but why, though? Why did I do that? Oh, which brings me to another thing. There are various Fallout characters from the games and the shows. They're a bit more rare. Most of your people will be randomly generated, but through some events and just with luck, you can get characters. And I'm guessing the reason mine are all from the show is because I played shortly after Season 2. Back to what I was saying about making babies. So incest can happen in the game, however there's no consequence of it happening. No inbred babies, so I stopped caring who fucks pretty quickly. Plus, with the naming convention I had, it would have made it difficult anyway. As I was naming characters based on their occupation so I could keep better track of them. And I kind of had designated fuckers anyway. Like the ghoul, who mainly just manned the radio and then fucked the women. And it was only new women, so I doubt any incest could happen anyway. My buddy Gage had also played this, but a long time ago when the game came out, and he showed me this big chart he made of who was related and how, just so he could make sure no incest happened. And I think that's really fucking funny, because I went into the game thinking that I'd have to do the same until I played enough and I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Those are your ways to recruit people, and let me bring up a minor nitpick. I play video games to escape reality, yet often in this game I would find multiple women waiting outside my door to let them in, and that just hits too close to home. It's an everyday occurrence for me. That's not a cool, fun, fictional experience. It's just a normal day in my life. Like I said, only a nitpick though. So the happiness and efficiency of your vault is tied to the special stats. In this game, the special stat decides what a person is good at. If making food requires an A stat, then you place a person with a high A rating there, and their happiness will also increase. There's also training rooms and outfits you can get to increase the stats for these purposes, and you keep recruiting to keep unlocking more rooms. The rooms do various things, but mainly give you resources and storage. And you can also upgrade their storage and use Mr. Handy to collect things automatically. It only takes 100 people till you can build everything, and so honestly it isn't that long. That's kind of where I stopped, around 100 people. I mean, you could go on for probably ever, but that felt like a good stopping point for this review. There's also shops to make items and customize your people. And now that's all well and good, but there is one more part of the game I haven't even talked about yet, and that's the quests. You can send people on quests and they'll go through and fight enemies and collect items for you. These aren't quests that'll be worth talking about. It's not like main story or lore accurate type stuff. It's often silly mumbo jumbo, and every quest is exactly the same. It's go to room from room, kill everything, grab all items, return. Which is not a bad thing. There's a lot of games that I play that are like that. Is that not all Diablo is? I just meant like these stories of these are basically one-note nothing burgers. And the gameplay here is not actually really gameplay, it's more of you watching. You click the room and then your team goes and fights. And sometimes you provide a med pack or RadAway, and sometimes there's maybe like a small VATS thing to click on, and that just kind of does your criticals, but that's about yet, even though this is barely gameplay, it was probably the most fun I had here. And it's scavenging for resources, making new weapons, outfits. It's also where you get the best goodies. Now another thing you can do is send out people exploring on their lonesome, but I don't really do that much. I didn't find as much value in it as going on quests. And special stats do matter for combat too. For example, the endurance will decide how much health a settler gets per level up. And the agility will increase how often you attack. The perception will increase those VAT critical hit things, making them easier to get. And the other stats don't seem to do dick shit for me in combat. But maybe they do things. I don't know. So yeah, for the most part, you watch the game a lot more than you play it. And looking at the silly absurdness and style of this game compared to how the Fallout series started, it feels pretty wild. If I had the ability to go back in time and show the original Fallout creators Fallout Shelter and nothing in between, what would they say? What would they think? Would they like it? Would it be way too far from their original creation? Would they think it wasn't too far? I wonder if Tim Kaine actually talks about it at all. In terms of Fallout games, I think it is my least favorite, even lower than Brotherhood of Steel. But like, it's a fine game for the price of free, and it's so beginner friendly that I could see it being a game that fans of the show who haven't played the games or just couldn't get into a whole RPG thing, they might like it, maybe. The RPG thing could just be too overwhelming, and this is such a simple little thing. Maybe they could get into this. I don't know. I mean, I like management games, but this just wasn't it for me. There isn't enough actual gameplay if you're going to play longer than 10 minutes. And like I said, fine for a free game, but if I'm at home and I have a console or a computer, no way I'm picking Fallout Shelter over any of the others. So then came Elder Scrolls Castles, which was developed by the same team, and this game in my head was just an Elder Scrolls version of Fallout Shelter. But now that I've played it, I can say no, not really. It's kind of its own thing with similarities. So remember how I said the art style works for Fallout because of the Pip-Boy and all that jazz? Yeah, well, it doesn't work here in my opinion. When I think of how an Elder Scrolls game should look, I think of the beauty and simultaneously the ugliness of trying to be beautiful. It's got a more realistic style to it, a grit, and so does Fallout, but because Fallout has a bit of a off-the-wall kind of humor, and the Pip-Boy mascot is a thing there, it kind of works. And Elder Scrolls has none of that, and takes itself very seriously. And this art style, This is not an art style for the Elder Scrolls. I absolutely hate it. I despise it. It feels like it's made for children, which is so weird. Gameplay-wise, you're building a castle instead of a shelter, and I will say, I think the building is better than in Shelter. Mainly because you just have a lot more you can do. You have a lot more freedom in how you build your castle and in what way, because you can now add walls and stairs and such where you want them. And it's still not a lot, but I do think it's better than Fallout Shelters. And just like in that one, you recruit people, you have babies, you bring people from the actual games, etc. In most ways, I guess it's like Fallout Shelter. I guess what it feels different to me is a few things. First off, everything is generational. Like every real life day is a in-game year, and it's not just going to focus on one group of people. It'll focus on them and then their kids' generation and then the next generation and the next one, so on and so forth. So your settlers are not permanent. They are not here to stay. This is a little annoying depending on what you like, because if I left Fallout Shelter for a while, my people would be fine. But if I leave Elder Scrolls Castles for a while, then my people might die. It's sort of like those Tamagotchis or Seaman on the Dreamcast. It's one of those games where you gotta check it every day. And for some people that's probably fine. It's just not my kind of thing. I also felt the freeness of the game didn't feel as good as in Fallout Shelter. This one felt a lot more monetized if I want to continue. It kept trying to get me to spend real life money far more often. You can for sure still play it as free, but it just doesn't feel as good. I also don't like the change to the combats. Now, getting like all the requirements in combat is not based on how strong you are. It's based on little requirements, like, oh, make sure you have a person who has daggers this battle, or oh, use this ability 3 times in this battle. And I just don't like that as much. I'd rather just build my characters up for combat and go through rather than constantly these little switch-ups just to appease the star system. And once again, you mainly just watch the fighting and sometimes press something. But in this one, it's not going room to room and getting those items and stuff, which still felt fun. In this one, it's just waves of enemies come on the same screen and you hit the button. It feels like a big downgrade to me, to be honest. Now, there are a few things I actually like better. First off, you can banish people. I could do that in Fallout as well, but the thing is, in Castles, everyone has their own personality that really matters and can make having some people not worth having even if they are skilled. There are good and bad personalities, and you've got to decide if it's worth keeping them. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. For example, one person has a leader trait, and this meant that those around him would work harder. One has a bossy trait. This meant that those around her would work harder, but they would get angry with her and her happiness would drop. And also, they would kill each other sometimes. But that bossy trait isn't a bad trait if you put her absolutely alone, because then she has no one to be bossy to, and she can still do her work. So these personalities, as well as people liking and disliking each other, adds a lot. And I think it's a good and interesting system, so I really do like that. The other thing I love is that you have a throne, and your people can come to you with dilemmas, and you make decisions, and your people will either like that or dislike that, and that's top-notch shit too. Both of these are really cool, and I think it adds a lot more replayability to a game like this. I really like those aspects. I didn't play as long as I played Fallout Shelter. I played that probably a month or a month and a half, and I played this one about 20 days. But since I couldn't pick a Dark Elf ruler to start, I went with who I liked best, which was this red guard with a Dark Elf wife. Then I had her cheat on her husband, get an orc to fall for her, and shortly later, she left the orc and acted like she knew nothing about that relationship. The jealous orc then assassinated the Red Guard king. Then the Dark Elf Queen became the sole ruler of the kingdom because the king was out, and then she banished the orc. There's just some top-level manipulation here. And just like that, I have a Dark Elf ruler, like I was trying to have from the beginning. And these kind of things I found really enjoyable. I really like that, because I can kind of create my own stories a little bit in a way. And I don't think it's a worse game. I think it's a different game. And some will like one and some will like the other. For me, I actually just like Fallout Shelter more than Castles. But if you said you liked Castles more, then I'd understand why. But once again, these games are trash compared to the real Fallout and Elder Scrolls titles. And playing Castles just made me want to go try Crusader Kings. But yeah, that's about it. I think these games have potential as actual games, and they're okay as free games. They at least are worth trying because free is a good price.